So let's do a bit of an England player appraisal from this autumn international series. England didn't use a whole lot of players. They kind of stuck with their core team, Borthwick's team. Let's roll through them. I'll talk about how I think they did. In the edit, I'll probably stick up a score as well, because I know people like scores. It's just fun, but don't get too caught up with the score. It's more about the subjective view on how they did, where England are set. So let's get straight into it with no further ado. This video, again, supported by Sports News Blitz, the place to go for sporting news and podcasts. Do check them out. Okay, loose head props. We saw a little bit of Finn Baxter, but not as much as Ellis Genge. Genge played the bulk of the games. How did he do? Okay. He scrummaged okay, and I think that is kind of the theme of this review. A lot of players did fine. Is he a world beater? Doesn't look like it. We didn't have those big breaks, those big runs that he has done in the past. He scrummaged fairly well, but did make quite a few mistakes in defence, actually. Another bad one in Japan for a try, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Joe Marler obviously retired, so that's a bit of a no-go there. Finn Baxter, we saw a little bit of, but he didn't get a start. He got some time in that Japan game, but a bit of a wasted exercise, I would say. Genge, yeah, he's okay, but we didn't see enough of Finn Baxter. Considering he started in New Zealand, that's pretty strange. On to the hookers. We saw lots of Jamie George, and he did Jamie George things. Technically, he's great. He's got a good engine. He does a lot of things. I don't know how he speaks to the ref, if that's the best way, but anyway, he's okay. He's got great darts in the line-out, we know that. Cameron Dickey was kind of chosen a lot of times as the strongest scrummager, and he did fine, but is he the future? I'm not sure. Is Theo Dan too small? Well, we didn't see enough of him to know, so did we find anything out? No. Is George a decent player? Yes, he is. Are there a lot better athletes out there at hooker in the world? Yeah, there absolutely are than George and Cameron Dickey, although they weren't bad performances. Okay, on to tight head prop. Cole, whatever. Stewart, he was the big win, to be honest. He was the big win of the autumn internationals. Scrummaged well. Actually did some good breaks as well in that last game against Japan. A lovely pass on the move for a try out wide to slide home. So yeah, he is probably the win of the forwards there. Is he world class? I don't know, but he's very decent. So well done him, because we need those tight heads to step up. Apoko Fajor we saw a little bit of against Japan, so he is the one to develop. So that's fairly good news in the tight head departments. We know we've got new guys coming through as well, so I'm fairly hopeful there. Now into the second row, and it was a massive shame that Ollie Chesham got injured, because I think he would have been a starter, because he really balances out this pack. He's the athletic second row, whereas Itoje and Martin, they're the big guys. Martin, he's the big banger, and he did okay. He throws his weight around very nicely, shunted over for a try, shunted Cameron Dickey over for a nice try. A good example of that against Japan. But he and Itoje, for me, are probably a little alike to start together. I'd like one or the other. Maybe you could have Martin and Chesham together. That would be quite good. Alex Coles, I thought, could be a big player in this series, but we hardly saw him, so I'm not sure what he's done wrong. Ezekwe was the preferred sub, who is a decent player. He's playing as well as he ever has, but is he world class? No. Is he ever will be? Probably not. Itoje, we know, has slowed down a fair bit, but he's still technically very good if he stays clean. Did give away a few silly penalties, one horrible roll there, croc roll, but still fairly decent. So those second rows, yeah, very physical, not bad, but again, not elite at the moment. I think the balance needs to change. Then on to the back row. Chandler Cunningham South had some good moments. He makes big, hard carries. He runs straight and hard. That's kind of about it. He's a little bit leaden-footed at times. He's not the fleetest-footed defender, so he can get isolated, but good experience for him. He's going to benefit from that. He's going to carry on in the England team, so that's absolutely fine. But we didn't see, of course, my mate Ted Hill. No idea why he didn't play in this last game against Japan. It was absolutely tailor-made for him. They started off with 3 sevens in the back row, so clearly they wanted a quick back row. And Ted Hill is your quickest proper blindside flanker. So whether he's stolen Steve Borthwick's cat or he's hidden his lawnmower or whatever the reason is, he is out of favour. No idea on that one. Didn't see Ben Curry. Tom Curry was always rushed in as soon as he's available, but he works hard. That's what he does. He works hard. He makes tackles. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But again, compared to some of those other sevens out there, we saw, say, in the Scotland game, we saw Darge, we saw Tizano, all action over the ball. That's not Tom Curry. So a little bit strange there, but he obviously trusts him, and that's kind of Borthwick's thing. He trusts these proven performers. Dombrandt was a preferred sub who came on and did some nice Dombrandty stuff. Obviously one nice pass for a try, but he's not going to be smashing aside players in tight. Ben Earl's an absolute key man for England, in attack especially. He makes the breaks, he makes the yards. Not always perfect, but he's got to be there somewhere. One of their best players for sure. And Underhill had a great autumn until he got injured in that Japan game. Such a shame. He looks the best open side in defence, in the jackal and in the carry as well. Good footwork. So I'd say a really good performance from him. But yeah, we should have seen Hill, hopefully. He will come into it, or is his time gone? Does Borthwick just not like him because he's too good or something? I don't know. Then with scrum half, the big winner is Alex Mitchell. He didn't play, and he's made it clear that he is the number one choice because none of these guys has really stood up and said, I am the man. Randall wasn't really given the chance. I still think Randall can offer a lot if you want to play a quick game. Some say he's not an international scrum half, he's too small, etc. I would say he could be very good given a chance, and he hasn't been given the chance. I thought he looked pretty decent when he came on against Japan, sped up the play. Spencer's got great skills, he's very physical, got a huge kick, he's got a quick pass, but he's not get to the ruck, get it away quick. Van Poortvliet, I don't see it personally. Even in the Japan game, he looks a little bit leaden-footed. He looked to be carrying some sort of knock or something. Though I don't see him as an international, to be honest. So Mitchell, then I think the two spaces are open. We'll talk about that another time. But scrum halves, a little bit meh. Now at fly half, I guess the headline is Marcus Smith is the man. He is the chosen starting fly half. But Finn Smith came on against Japan, showed what he can do conducting the play, and Marcus Smith makes things happen. Mr. Creative Twinkle Toes, he did a lot of good things, and a lot of England's tries came from Marcus Smith's work. George Ford was the chosen sub to come on and really didn't do a lot, made some mistakes. That was a strange one. That was Borthwick trusting the experience rather than going for the best player, who was Finn Smith. So that's a bit of a strange one. Maybe they've learned their lesson there. In the centre, what did we learn? Well, nothing really, apart from Lawrence and Slade are Borthwick centres. No one else got a look in at all. Lawrence, I thought, improved. His game against Japan was his best game. He can be dangerous. England need him to fire. And when he fires, he can definitely make some gain line. He can make some offloads, but also he can take his eyes off the ball and it bounce off him sometimes, which we saw. Slade, passing great, kicking great. He's not quick enough. He's not strong enough. They're trying to get him to play that big closing defence, and he's not a defensive monster like, say, a Ringrose, Lecanuam, Jesse Creel, someone like that. He's not that sort of player, so don't get it for that defence. Do England need more centre options? They definitely do, and they did not develop them here. On the wing, Feyiwabusu started like a train. He was beating defenders for fun. He got injured. That was it for him, so that's a shame, but he's still going to be the man going forward, I'm sure. Tommy Freeman, not sure what to make of Tommy Freeman. Good skills, strong defender, doesn't beat people. He's not quick enough on the wing to beat people. He did that audacious round-the-back offload in that Japan game, which was nice, but again, not scoring, not beating people like Slightholme does. Slightholme is an excellent finisher, great feet. Again, he's another one being killed by this defensive system. Either he's made to look really bad or he's making bad decisions himself. I'm going with the former for now. So defence is his absolute weakness, maybe because of this system. Like I said, in the Japan game, Roebuck is big, he's strong, not that quick. Not sure if he's got a place going forward, but he does what he does fairly well. Then we saw Stewart and Furbank swap places. It was a bit strange because they're such different players. Stewart took good high balls, hit hard lines, but gets wrong-footed very easily. Furbank's a lot more skillful, he's a lot more creative, he makes the passes, he makes the play. So I think you've got to pick what sort of fullback you want and stick with it. If it's going to be Furbank and Marcus Smith, that makes sense, but with Stewart in the mix, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're playing a rainy day sort of game. Anyway, that's my take on the players involved in the autumn. I'll pop some scores up on the side as well. Tell me what you think about these players. Pop it in the comments down below. Subscribe, like, that would be amazing. And I'll catch you next time.